4 o'clock. It's time for Wonder Spark Puppets DIY Puppet Craft. Woo! Okay. Welcome, everyone. I'm Christina. We have Princess Peach sleeping right there in the background. Our resident little beast. So it's 4 o'clock. It's time to get started with our DIY puppet craft for today. We at Wonder Spark, we're here every day, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. with these crafts, and then Saturdays and Sundays at 10 a.m. So every day we have something cool for you and your family to do. And this week is Jungle Week. So all of our puppet crafts are centered around a jungle theme. And that was in celebration of today's live puppet show. If you caught it this morning at 11 a.m., it was a double feature of Aesop's Fables. I really love that show. So if you didn't catch it, it was The Lion and the Mouse and The Tortoise and the Hare. They're both very fun and super cute. So if you didn't catch it, you can always watch that on our page for this entire next week. It'll be up until next Friday when we do the next live streamed show. All right, so let's get started. We will quickly go over the supplies that we need. And if you were able to, there's a little technique that you can use to pre-paint your little pasta noodles. I kind of mentioned it in the comments of our little promo video earlier, but I will also show you how to do that. So this video will stay up on our page, so at any time you can watch, and if you need to pause it and give yourself time for your pasta to dry, totally fine. Okay, so let's go over what we need. First of all, you will need your pasta. I said Ziti or Penne will be great. I'm using some Ziti noodles. You probably only need like 5 or 6. Let's see, I think I have 6 here right now. And you'll need some yarn, some Scotch tape, some scissors, of course, some beads. Oh, where did I just put my beads? Here they are. I've got these little wooden beads, but if you have the little plastic ones, that's fine. Some pipe cleaners. Got a whole bag right here. And some Googley Eyes. There we go. Also some construction paper or cardstock. I think I forgot to write that one down, but I think we had it on our list from earlier. So we won't need this much. I just got a couple of different colors so we can have options. Okay. And for our painting part of this, y'all know I really like painting and I like getting messy. So we're going to go ahead and do that live for you. So for the painting part, you'll need a Ziploc bag. You'll need your pasta noodles and some just acrylic paint. I did come across another technique for coloring your pasta noodles that uses rubbing alcohol and food coloring. So if you want to look that up online, that's a good technique as well, but I didn't have rubbing alcohol or food coloring, so I'm going with good old-fashioned paint because I have a lot of that. Okay, so let's do this. All right. So first, what I'm going to do, I'm going to open my little Ziploc bag, and I'm going to put my pasta noodles inside. And now I'm just going to squish some of my paint inside. You don't need too much, but you do want enough to cover your noodles. So I'm just going to put a couple little globs. There we go. Maybe a little more for good measure. There we go. That's probably plenty. So I've got red, and I like me some pink, so I'm going to put a little bit of white in there as well. A couple little drops. Okay. Great. Ta-da! So now we're going to make sure that our Ziploc bag is sealed nice and tight, okay? So that we don't get too messy. And now this is the fun part. You can just squish your little noodles all around that paint inside your bag. And it's very fun. All right, so squish, squish. Make sure all the noodles are covered with that paint. If you just want to use one color, that's fine, but you'll know I like mixing colors, and I like for them to look a little, you know, not fully mixed. I like to be able to see the different colors. Okay, so that's my style. So there we go. I think I've got all my noodles covered, and I'm gonna open the bag, and I've got a little like saran wrap already taped out. So make sure you have somewhere safe to put these wet painted noodles, some newspaper or some saran wrap or other plastic or something that's not going to get super messy. Okay? All right. So now we can just dump out our noodles. Come on. They're sticking to that paint. Okay, there we go. Okay, and now we can throw that bag away. Okay, so I'm getting my fingers a little bit messy. I'm spreading them out a little bit so that they can dry. And I'm going to take one of my pipe cleaners. This is an extra pipe cleaner. You might notice that some of the noodles have gotten like paint globbed in them. So you can, let's use this end, you can just take a pipe cleaner and kind of clean it out so you make sure that the hole in the pasta stays open, because we'll need to thread our yarn through there once they dry. I'm getting so nice and messy. I love it. Okay. There we go. So we make sure that we don't have any paint globs that are clogging up the holes. I'm going to toss this little pipe cleaner. I was really smart and wore a white shirt today, so hopefully I don't get paint all over it. My Wonder Spark white shirt. So I'm just wiping my hands quickly to get that paint off. Okay. It really makes me way too happy to get this messy, so I hope y'all enjoy it too. Okay, so I went ahead and took the liberty of pre-painting some pasta so I don't have to deal with the wet painted noodles this whole time. So let's go ahead and continue building our puppets. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is take a fairly long size. This is probably 1.5 feet. I don't know, something around there. And we're going to cut our piece of yarn. And now, this is an important part. We're going to take our Scotch tape. We've done this a few other times, but if you think about a shoelace, how it has that plastic on the end, it makes it easier to thread the lace through the holes in your shoe. That's kind of what we're going to do here. You might need an adult helper for this. So I am just wrapping the tape around the end of my yarn, making kind of a long point at the end with my tape. Okay? All right, let's get started. I am going to take a bead, first of all, and tie it to the end. And I went very traditional green python in my sample, but now I'm going to go wild with the colors you saw earlier. I did some pink, I've got some green, I've got some purple. We're going to make this one a very colorful python. So I'm going to start with a blue bead. So I'm going to take that taped end, and it should be able to go through my bead very easily. So that's the idea. And now I'm going to put it all the way towards the other end, and I'm going to tie a knot around this bead. That's going to keep my pasta noodles from sliding off. All right, there's a little bit extra, so I'm going to trim that off. So there we go. And now, so I've got a bead to start. Now I'm going to take one of my dried pasta noodles and thread my yarn through, just like I did. Now here's a little trick. So this plastic part, these noodles are a little bit longer, so it's not going to go all the way through right away. So what I do is I put the taped end through, and then I kind of push and twist my yarn, and that helps it to go through pretty easily. Okay, so now I've got my bead, I've got a noodle, and now I'm going to alternate between a bead and a noodle. So it is time for a bead. This time I'm using pink. Now I'm going to go for a green noodle, pushing my taped end of my yarn through and kind of twisting that yarn until it pokes out the other side, and then I can pull it through. Okay, so I've got a bead, I've got a noodle, got another bead and another noodle. So it's time for another bead. Let's do orange. I want this one to be really colorful. Bead, noodle, and just twisting that yarn if I need to help push it through. Let's see. Oh, I want yellow this time. Oh, I think the opening is not quite big enough on that one. So let's go green. So you can keep alternating beads and noodles until your python or your snake is as long as you would like it to be. Let's go pink, and I'm gonna do one more noodle, I think. There we go. I think that's a good length for me. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beads, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 noodles. Yes, I think that's good. So to finish it off, you do want another bead right there at the end. So I've got another orange here, that's what I'm gonna do. And you wanna tie a knot around this bead as well. And just a quick note, you don't wanna pull the yarn too tight so that everything is really stiff. You wanna keep your noodles and your beads a little bit loose on that yarn. So just a quick little tip. Okay, so I'm tying a knot around that bead to keep it in place and to keep all of my other noodles and beads in place. One more time. Okay. So now, oh, oh no! Look what happened. Live theater. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do my same technique so we can keep going. I don't know how that happened. Okay, so I'm just gonna put my tape on this end as well so I can thread my noodles and beads back through on this side where it broke, sadly. Ah, these things happen. Okay, here we go. Just a quick fix. Okay, noodle, bead, noodle. And we do want a bead on either end. So let's see, yeah, I'm gonna get one last little bead and we tie it just like we did the other one. Okay. Whew. Things can always go wrong with puppets, but that's the thing, is you can usually always fix it, so nothing to worry about. Okay. There we go. So I've got a bead on either end, and then, hi Peach, then we're alternating noodles and beads. Okay. I'm gonna cut the extra here and the extra there on both ends. Okay, so this is the body of my python. So a python is a specific type of snake. So, so either way, this is a type of snake. Don't get confused as to why I'm saying python. Okay. Let us work on the head of our python. I am going to, like I said, this is going to be a colorful python, so I'm going to take this cool red color. And all I need to do is, here's a pencil, so I'm going to draw this out so you can see, but I'm just going to kind of make a triangle shape. Right there. And we're going to cut that out. There we go. And for my head, I don't want any of these points here. I want to round all of these corners. So that's what I'm going to do with my scissors, is just round them out. Okay. So that's the shape that I have for my head. It's basically a triangle but I've just kind of rounded out those corners. Okay, let us make our tongue. I have a nice bright pink color. And we just need a long, skinny rectangle. Like that. Yeah, can you see? Oh, it's very bright. Here, let me cut it out. I'm sorry, the sun's a little bit bright here. So this is my triangle shape that I've cut out, just very long and skinny. And I'm going to cut a triangle shape out of that as well, right on one side. So this is my snake tongue. Okay. So I'm going to take my tape and I'm just going to tape the tongue right on the back of the head so that it stays in place. Don't need too big of a piece of tape. There we go. I think that's gonna hold. All right. Now we are ready for our pipe cleaner. I think I'm going to use, let's do orange. I have all these fun colors, so I'm gonna choose a fun color. I'm gonna use orange. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to take one end and I'm going to make a little loop like that. And then I'm going to twist the pipe cleaner around so that that loop will stay there. Okay. Just kind of small like that. And you can squash it together. See that? And we are also going to tape that on the back where we taped our snake tongue. We're going to tape that to the head, just like that. And this is how we're going to control our puppet. If you have hot glue and you have an adult that wants to help you, you can hot glue this as well, but I found that tape worked just fine. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm taping my loop that I made to the back of my snake's head. That's how I'm going to be able to control it. And I've got my googly eyes, so I'm going to add my googly eyes. If you have markers instead of googly eyes, you can draw your eyes, or you can use white paper and cut out some circles. Okay, there we go. That is my snake's head, and the rest of the pipe cleaner is the control that I'm going to use to control my puppet. Okay, we are ready to attach. So I'm going to take, let's see, I'm going to take the side with the smaller bead, the blue bead. And I'm going to take the end of my pipe cleaner and just put it right through that bead that's right there on the end. All the way through. And if you can, put it as close to the head of your snake as possible. And then just give a little bend to the pipe cleaner. And that's about it. We are ready to test out our puppet. Okay, so the way this puppet works is you hold the pipe cleaner and then you can control your puppet. So what you can do is kind of wiggle your wrist back and forth as the puppet moves, like this. So you only have to move the pipe cleaner a little bit and your snake puppet will wobble a lot. Let's make some room for our puppet here. Okay, so I'm just wiggling my wrist a little bit, moving that pipe cleaner a little bit, and the rest of my snake's body will follow. Yes. Okay, or if you want a more jerky movement, maybe they're lunging at something, you can do that. Pull it along, or you can swirl it around. You can move the head up and down. Left and right. It's my left. So, all kinds of movement that you can do with your snake with a very simple little pipe cleaner control. Okay. There we go. And that is our puppet. So I hope you had fun as we continue with Jungle Week. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Let's get our WonderSparkPuppets.com website for you. Anytime you want to check us out, there's always something fun. We have merch, as you can see. We have membership programs. As I said, we have a live streamed puppet show every Friday at 11 a.m. That video will be up for you all week until the next Friday. You can also enter a raffle to win your very own private live stream puppet show just for you. And you can also schedule a puppet telegram or a puppet chat. All of that is on our website, so definitely check us out. Okay? Thank you so much for joining us. As I said, we're here every day, 4 o'clock on the weekdays, 10 a.m. Saturdays and Sundays, so we'll see you at 10 a.m. tomorrow for our next jungle-themed DIY puppet craft. Thank you, everyone. Oh, and post pictures of your puppets. We love seeing them. Thanks. Bye.